Hi Libra, welcome to your week ahead horoscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. It's an absolute pleasure to have you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, share, and if you should so choose and it resonates, hit that subscribe button. If you are already a continued subby, you know I love you for it. With that said, if you would like to book a personal reading with me, you can do so on the link in the description box below. If you haven't got yours yet, the Tribal Tuesday or Mindset Magic courses are still open. There are still seats left. If you are ready to align with and activate your purpose, I am holding a purpose alignment activation webinar for £11. That's like the cost of 2 coffees. You can get that on the link in the description box below. And if that isn't enough for you, there's £10 off the retrograde survival kit. Remember, Mercury goes retrograde on the 16th. I thought it was the 9th, but it's actually the 16th of February. So with that said, I'm sure it is the 9th though. Don't hold me to that, but I know it's definitely around that week. With that said, let's have a look. See, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise, and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So let's have a look. See what your week ahead has in store for you, Libra. And this week, you get the Knight of Swords, right, as your actions in your path. So this week you could kind of be jumping the gun, all right? Interestingly enough, if you've seen your monthly reading, this kind of fits into that. I kind of feel like you guys are going to be giving a lot of people ultimatums. I feel like you're going to be putting your foot down over the course of this next month. I think February is going to be sort of a very gung-ho time for you guys. With the Knight of Swords, though, it does remind you not to do things too hastily. Right, so really think things through, which is something you guys are famous for. The fact that this is on your actions and path, sometimes the Knight of Swords can be fast or even aggressive communication. So, and the thing is, you may very well be able to process the information at the speed that you're going, but that doesn't necessarily mean that everybody else around you is going to be able to process the information at the speed you're going. Keep that in mind this week. Whatever it is that you're doing, whatever conversations you're having, or whatever you are starting, make sure that you do a proper, thorough systems check before you kind of move ahead with anything. Because this Knight of Swords, it really does feel for me like you might be sort of jumping the gun this week. So just keep that in mind. With your communications and conversations, you have the 7 of Wands, right? I mean, that really in and of itself is very self-explanatory. The 7 of Wands and the Knight of Swords, lots of fast, possibly very aggressive communication for you guys this week. The thing is, with the 7 of Wands in your communications and conversation sector, it does suggest that you have the moral high ground. Whatever it is that you're doing, whatever it is that you're refusing to budge on this week, you have the high ground, right? You're in the right. So, and the thing is, I mean, getting anybody to budge when they know they're right is virtually impossible. But for a Libra, you know, because it very rarely, usually it happens that you guys are, you know, you'll try to find the diplomatic answer, but this week I don't feel like the energy is there for that. And this 7 of Wands in your communications is basically saying you have to stand your ground. You're going to have to really, where usually you make choices based on what's good for we, this is the week where you have to make decisions based on what's good for me, right? Meaning you. But the fact that this comes underneath that Knight of Swords, like I said, just be sure that, because I don't know why I'm getting the word accusation, just be sure that you're actually hearing what you think you're hearing. So double check, make sure that you hear it. Make sure that what you think you heard is actually what is coming through. So my advice to you this week is, if you think somebody is saying A, B, and C, but you're not quite sure because you think they might be doing the whole subterfuge thing, just ask them outright. Don't, pussyfoot around with diplomatic questions and all the rest of it. Just say what it is that you think you're hearing so that you're fully aware You know, because then that way they can either say, yes, that's exactly what I meant, or no, it's not what I meant, right? It's just kind of putting yourself in the best place for the energy. Your money and materials this week, you have the Moon card. So interestingly enough, I feel like whatever this is, it may very well have to do with money, have to do with finances. It might even be, with your Moon card there, it might even be that you... I don't want to say expect, but it may very well be that someone's kind of promised you something when it comes to your finances, when it comes to your money sector, or, you know, maybe they promised that they could pay something back, or that they would be there for you because you were doing this for them, and all that kind of energy. If that is the case, this Moon card kind of says you might have to just let it go this week. You know, whatever it is, you might just have to kind of count your losses and cut them and run, and just kind of say, you know what, I'll chalk it up to wisdom, and next time I know better. Just keep that in mind, because your Moon card is about things in the past and antiquities, and with these mix of cards, I just get this sense that it's almost like there is a disappointment here this week, and it's kind of almost like you're saying, you know what, I never expected that, but at the same time I shouldn't have expected anything. Do you know what I mean? Your love and relationships, you have the Two of Pentacles. So for those of you that are single, it kind of feels like you've got so much going on this week. You've got so many things that you're juggling at the moment that you could be a bit sort of like, oh, overwhelmed. And the fact that you have this Two of Pentacles, I mean, it is touching the Knight of Swords and the Seven of Wands. You know, although it's funny and sitcom worthy when people mistake sort of, you know, arguments and clashes and stuff for, you know, what's actually underneath is that somebody likes you. This week it could really be misconstrued, and if you are single, this could be somebody at the workplace, it could be a friend, it could be somebody that's trying to sort of underneath kind of tell you that actually I kind of like you, and those little digs and jibes that they're taking, because you are quite sort of feisty and full with everything else, you could really take it the wrong way and go off on them, and they're like, oh shit, okay, I guess I'm kind of glad that they know they don't know that I like them now. I don't, you know, they're crazy. For those of you that are partnered, this could be you guys looking at your finances, and it looks like you're trying to clear up a matter, and it may very well be that possibly a financial commitment that you've made or something that you've done financially is impacting your relationship this week. So I invite you to really keep everything above board, and remember, slow, methodical steps. This is not a week for you to be hasty. So consider that when you're moving forward, because I actually feel like if you do that and you call everything as you see it, so you ask the question like, you know, is this what you mean? The chances are you will probably get not necessarily a satisfactory answer, but you will know where you stand, so you'll know whether to go in for what it is that you need to stand up for yourself for or with, or whether just to say, you know what, I'll chalk it up and leave it to lesson learned. All right, your key to the week is the Hanged Man. You really, Libra, this week you want to be finding ways to exercise patience, and just bite your tongue. This isn't saying like, you know, let people get away with stuff. It's not that at all. It's just be sure that whatever it is that you're going to go in or on for is actually what you think it is. So just make sure you've got all the information this week. Yeah, and you know, the other thing is the dysfunctional sense of the Hanged Man card is martyrdom. So this week, be sure about what it is that you want to tie yourself to, and if you are going to go in on something, remember you have the high ground, so you don't need to play the martyr. All right, it's kind of, you know, pick a struggle, people, pick a struggle, okay? With that said, you know I love you. I send you so many blessings. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care. I'll see you soon.